Welcome to all the folks from Mississippi and beyond. Today's exciting episode on Getting to the Roots is truly unique. We're delving into the past with a special focus on enslaved life in Covington, Smith, and Jones counties, Mississippi. Are you a resident of Covington, Jones, or Smith counties? Ever wondered about the plantation owners in your region and what life was like for both enslavers and the enslaved? Curious about how your ancestors may have lived and survived these harsh conditions? If these questions intrigue you, you're in the right place, because today we're exploring the day-to-day lives of the enslaved on the Duckworth, Speed, and Rogers plantations. But before we dive in, please make sure to hit that like button, share this video, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Welcome to GettingToTheRoots.com, your go-to channel on YouTube for all things family. Join us as we unravel the complexities of family history. Our channel is dedicated to uncovering the secrets of ancestry, building intricate family trees, organizing memorable family reunions, and telling captivating family stories through blogging. Whether you're a beginner or an expert in genealogy, our channel is a hub of knowledge, packed with easy-to-follow guides and advanced techniques. We're here to engage and enlighten everyone. Inspired by the depth and insights of Mississippi Public Broadcasting's full documentary, Mississippi's War, Slavery, and Secession, we aim to guide you through the annals of history. So let's embark on this journey through the past together. Between the years 1830 and 1865, the plantations of Duckworth, Speed, and Rogers in Covington, Smith, and Jones counties in Mississippi played host to numerous realities experienced by those who were enslaved within their boundaries. The lived experiences and resistance of these individuals, the roles they played within Mississippi's economic system, and the impact of their emancipation on the region's socio-economic fabric are integral to understanding this complex history. This first-hand look into the realm of these plantations serves to unfold the layers of the everyday lives of enslaved individuals, illuminating their struggle, resilience, and impact on society, illuminating a forgotten aspect of history that is oftentimes overlooked. In the wake of slavery's end in 1865, my great-great-grandfather Harrison Duckworth found himself in a labor arrangement with Joseph Ducksworth, working not for wages, but merely for food and shelter. The freedman contract of Harrison Duckworth represents a window into the lived experiences of the enslaved in Covington, Smith, and Jones counties in Mississippi. The day-to-day life of the enslaved individuals on plantations like Duckworth, Speed, and Rogers in Covington, Smith, and Jones counties. These counties in Mississippi during the 1800s were marked by hardship, resilience, and a structured routine dictated by their enslavers. While specific details can vary based on the individual plantation and time period, some general aspects can be outlined. Morning routine. Enslaved individuals typically woke up at dawn or even before sunrise. The first meal of the day was usually quick and minimal, often consisting of cornmeal or leftovers from the previous day. They would receive their work assignments for the day. These tasks varied depending on the plantation's main crop and could include field work, domestic chores, or skilled labor like carpentry. Field work. The majority of enslaved individuals worked in the fields, cultivating crops like cotton, tobacco, or sugarcane. This work was physically demanding and often continued throughout the day with few breaks. Skilled labor. Some enslaved people worked as artisans, blacksmiths, or carpenters. Their day involved creating or repairing tools, buildings, and other necessary plantation infrastructure. Household duties. Enslaved women often worked in the plantation house, cooking, cleaning, and taking care of the enslaver's family. Brief lunch break. There was a short break for lunch, typically involving simple food like cornbread, beans, or vegetables. Continued labor. After the break, work resumed until dusk. Dinner and personal time. After the workday, enslaved individuals prepared their own dinner. This was a time for socializing, tending to personal gardens, or practicing cultural traditions in secrecy. Spiritual and cultural practices. The evenings were also a time for spiritual activities, storytelling, and music, which were crucial for maintaining a sense of community and cultural identity. Living conditions. The living quarters were often cramped and rudimentary, usually consisting of small cabins with limited furnishings. Family life. Family structures were often disrupted due to the sale or transfer of individuals among plantations. Sexual exploitation. In the harsh reality of slavery, sexual exploitation was a widespread and devastating issue, impacting not just enslaved women, but men and children as well. While enslaved women faced the brunt of this abuse, often at the hands of enslavers and overseers, it's crucial to understand that this form of exploitation was part of a larger system of control and abuse. Enslaved men were also subjected to sexual abuse, used as a means of humiliation and domination, while children, too, were tragically not spared, experiencing early traumas that would leave lasting scars. This aspect of slavery underscores the depth of the atrocities committed, affecting every aspect of personal autonomy and dignity. Constant surveillance. The life of an enslaved person was one of perpetual oversight, where privacy was virtually non-existent. Overseers and patrollers were ever present, monitoring and controlling every action. This relentless surveillance was not just a means of maintaining order, but a psychological tactic to instill a sense of powerlessness and vulnerability among the enslaved. The lack of private space and the constant threat of observation added an additional layer of stress and fear to the already oppressive conditions of slavery. Health and sanitation. Poor living conditions and intense labor often led to health issues. Access to medical care was limited or non-existent. Despite the hardships, enslaved individuals fostered a strong sense of community. They supported each other, shared stories, and passed down traditions that helped preserve their cultural identity. The life expectancy of the enslaved was generally much shorter than that of the enslavers. It's estimated that they lived, on average, into their mid-30s to early 40s. When delving into the annals of American history, it is essential to understand the experiences unfolding, not only at the level of grand events, but also within the confines of homesteads, plantations, and farms. It is within these often overlooked spaces that the narratives of the enslaved individuals unfolded, deeply embedded in the nation's past tapestry. The truth unfolds as stories of resilience, laced with immense suffering and an undeniable human spirit. The material conditions of enslaved individuals varied significantly across the lands, yet a universal aspect was the fundamental denial of freedom and basic human rights. Now, let's expand our exploration to plantations beyond Mississippi. We'll uncover the varied yet universally challenging experiences of enslaved individuals in different regions, each with its unique agricultural and social landscapes. Oak Alley Plantation. Consider the Oak Alley Plantation in Louisiana as an illustrative example. This location stands out for having a striking oak alley leading up to the main house, but it also has a dark history of slavery. Plantation grounds include reconstructed slave quarters, offering a glimpse into the cramped living conditions they endured. Small, often housing multiple families in a single room. The scarcity of space and inadequate sanitation were commonplace, fostering the spread of illness. The daily routine of those enslaved at Oak Alley was arduous and relentless. From the break of day to nightfall, they toiled, primarily in the cultivation and harvesting of sugarcane. Amidst the physical toll of their labor, spirituals and work songs echoed across the fields, a poignant soundtrack to their struggles and their fortitude. These melodies bore the weight of their pain, yet also carried the resilience of hope and the spirit of endurance. Magnolia Plantation. Take the Magnolia Plantation in Louisiana, for example. Here, the landscape was yet marked with 22 one-room cabins, utilized as slave quarters. These cabins, each only about 20 feet by 20 feet, accommodations, often housed multiple families. Overcrowding and poor sanitation were more rules than exceptions, contributing to the rapid spread of diseases. Here, each day would start with the crest of dawn and persist until dusk, filled with grueling work, with cotton picking being the most prevalent occupation. Soulful profanities filled the air as sorrows and daily drudgeries were converted into songs of hope and perseverance. Sauterly Plantation. At the Sauterly Plantation in Maryland, on the other hand, the proprietor, George Plater, owned more than 40 enslaved individuals. The enslaved worked from sunrise to sunset, performing tasks tied to tobacco farming. A stark difference from cotton farming that dominated the South. The Hermitage. The Hermitage, located in Nashville, Tennessee, once the residence of President Andrew Jackson, serves as a testament to the lives of those held in servitude. A detailed examination of historical accounts shows that many enslaved individuals were proficient artisans, including carpenters and blacksmiths, honing their crafts beyond the commonly assumed backdrop of cotton plantations. Despite the varied conditions that enslaved people faced on different plantations, one stark reality was consistent. Their lives were profoundly difficult, with trials and tribulations affecting all facets of their lives, from their physical health to their emotional resilience. Rather than focusing singularly on the broader historical narrative, it is invaluable to delve into the quotidian experiences of these enslaved individuals. It pierces the veil of history, unveiling the complex layers of human experiences. This endeavor not only broadens our understanding of American history, but also foregrounds the stories that have often been eclipsed, rendering them visible and heard. The description of their daily lives is indeed a modest tribute to their enduring spirit and fortitude. Thus, enslaved individuals are pivotal characters, not mere background figures in the vast theater of American history. Recognizing and understanding their narratives, their joys and sorrows, their dreams and fears, is integral to acknowledging the totality of the country's past and moving forward. Just as the quarters still stand at Magnolia Plantation and many others, the echoes of their lives and stories continue to resonate, inviting us to listen and learn in earnest. Role of enslaved people within Mississippi's economic structure in Covington, Smith, and Jones counties. From their standpoint as forced laborers, enslaved individuals were crucial elements in the economic fabric of the 19th century southern United States. Their lives were interwoven with the ever-shifting economic realities of the towns they lived and labored in. In the geographic sphere, within this study, Covington, Smith, and Jones counties, their often overlooked perspectives offer pivotal insights into the economic evolution of these areas. Notwithstanding the oppressive circumstances, enslaved individuals were a driving force behind the agricultural and artisanal successes in these counties. Their labor power laid the foundation for the growth of cash crops, particularly the cultivation of cotton, the primary export economy of the region. Covington and Jones County, for example, witnessed a boom in cotton production, with enslaved individuals delivering excellence in the harshest of conditions. Further research reveals a complex tapestry of skilled commerce within which enslaved individuals were interlaced. Enslaved craftsmen, such as blacksmiths, carpenters, and stonemasons, were not anomalous instances, but actual normative attributes of the economic structure. They essentially supplied free labor and expertise, thereby bolstering the viability and longevity of the area's infrastructure and commerce. A macroeconomic lens exhibits the extensive reach of the enslaved population's economic influence. Commodities sourced and produced by enslaved individuals circulated in local, regional, and international markets, indubitably shaping broader economic systems. The wealth amassed in Covington, Smith, and Jones counties transformed them into pivotal economic hubs. Unfortunately, the wealth primarily served the white, slave-owning elites, while enslaved individuals remained impoverished and dispossessed. Slave populations were used as part of not only a labor system, but also a social and economic structure that was based on racial differences and power dynamics. The emergence and prosperity of local businesses like grist mills, sawmills, and shipyards rested upon the forced labor and expertise of enslaved individuals. This economic model, built on the premise of dehumanization and subjugation, nevertheless bequeathed the county's economic prosperity. Conversely, changes in the enslaved community's demographic patterns impacted the economy significantly. For instance, the demographic shifts caused by the horrendous Middle Passage and subsequent slave trade had direct implications for labor markets, production capabilities, and the ensuing economic growth. From the perspective of the enslaved individuals, we gain an essential insight into the foundational economic workings of Covington, Smith, and Jones counties. Literally, from the ground up, where they cultivated the land, to the very structures they erected. The economic vitality and development trajectories of these locales find their roots in the sweat, skills, and lives of these unsung contributors. It underscores the urgency to redress historical narratives and parse them through the lens of these forgotten faces, instrumental in shaping the American economic landscape. Their narratives are a testament to resilience, resistance, and unforgivable systemic oppression, an interplay that indeed has written the tale of these counties' economic history. As we continue to unravel the intricacies of the enslaved life, it is of fundamental importance to comprehend the resistance strategies utilized by enslaved people and the resultant consequences. Primarily, these resistance strategies encompassed both overt and covert actions, demonstrating the resolute spirit and undying quest for freedom among enslaved individuals. Overt resistance showcased direct defiance against the oppressive structure of slavery. This could be in the form of organized rebellions, such as the famous Nat Turner Rebellion of 1831 in Virginia, involving both free blacks and enslaved individuals. Insurrections posed a significant threat to the slave-owning elites and disrupted the socio-economic stability within the slave system. Although unsuccessful, these rebellions strongly displayed the enslaved individual's will for freedom and ignited fear among slave owners. Work slowdowns offered another tangible form of overt resistance, often resulting in significant productivity loss. Slaves deliberately worked at a slow pace or feigned illness to diminish overall productivity, subtly communicating their refusal to fully cooperate within an inherently exploitative system. Covert resistance, on the other hand, encompassed subtle, often unnoticed strategies of defying the status quo. For example, practicing African traditions like spiritual rituals and cultural ceremonies in secret was a powerful way for enslaved people to stay true to their identities and connect with their ancestors. Also, these routines offered psychological solace against the brutality and inhumanity of slavery. Engaging in literacy activities also formed an integral part of covert resistance. Reading and writing were prohibited for enslaved individuals. Thus, equipping oneself with these skills was an act of defiance in itself. Literacy not only boosted their self-esteem, but also helped enslaved individuals strategize escape plans or forge free passes. Moving to the consequences, perhaps the most profound outcome of these resistance strategies was the creation of social, economic, and political tension within the slave-owning society. An increasing number of rebellions and work slowdowns drew attention to the flaws inherent in the system of slavery, sparking debates on the sustainability and morality of the institution. Another significant result was the strict enactment and enforcement of laws to maintain the slave system's stability, such as plantation rules, curtailing gatherings, or stringent punishment for those attempting to escape. Such harsh measures, aiming to curb resistance, further exemplified the system's oppressive nature, leading to amplified tension between enslaved individuals and their enslavers. Conclusively, these resistance strategies procured varying degrees of relative freedom, respite, or exacerbation of conditions for enslaved individuals. Regardless of the immediate outcome, they all resonated with the indomitable spirit of resistance against an inherently oppressive and exploitative system. This in-depth elucidation of resistance strategies and their aftermath extends our understanding of the lived experience of enslaved individuals, underlining the necessity to revisit the past through their unadulterated lens. Such a comprehensive depiction transcends the conventional narratives and unfurls the resiliency, defiance, and courage embodied by those living through a disturbing chapter of human history. Impacts of emancipation in Covington, Smith, and Jones counties. The termination of slavery indeed reshaped societies, initiating seismic shifts in economic, social, and political landscapes. Focusing primarily on the affected enslaved individuals and the broader societal composition, it is imperative to delve into the profound implications of emancipation. Fundamentally, the end of slavery heralded an era of potential opportunity, yet the reality was starkly different. The transition from bondage to freedom was riddled with countless economic challenges. The freed individuals, lacking the necessary skills or assets crucial for economic survival, envisioned freedom coupled with immediate economic mobility. However, with scarce financial prospects, they plunged into debt and often continued working under their former masters under the guise of sharecropping, a system entrenched in disparities barely distinguishable from slavery. Moreover, the concept of freedom had a profound impact on the formation of the African American family unit. With the abolition of slavery, previously separated families endeavored to reunite, serving to solidify and acknowledge the essentiality of these familial ties. Churches, too, began to play a crucial role, becoming an indispensable source of community strength and providing spiritual, political, and educational leadership to the newly freed communities. Interestingly, the American political landscape, too, underwent significant structural modifications. The Reconstruction era saw African American men secure the right to vote, resulting in increased representation in government, albeit temporarily. The Freedmen's Bureau and Equal Rights Bill aimed to proliferate rights and education among the free population, though these efforts often succumbed to fervent opposition and systematic roadblocks. Furthermore, a critical facet of post-slavery consideration is the societal ripple effect of emancipation. The abolition of enslaved labor disrupted the Southern economy, encountering resistance from the white population heavily reliant on the socio-economic structure of the system. The perceived racial hierarchy stood challenged, inciting a sense of alarm among the white populace and laying the foundation for discriminatory laws and practices that were yet to shape American society, a grim testament to the enduring legacy of slavery. As we wrap up today's journey into the past, let's acknowledge the profound impact of slavery's end. This era, marked by struggle and transformation, paved the way for hope amid challenges. The Emancipation period brought significant changes, not only in Mississippi, but across the southern United States. It's crucial to recognize the resilience and courage of those who transitioned from life on plantations to freedom post-1865. Their stories offer valuable insights into our history and the enduring spirit of those who overcame adversity. Thank you for joining this exploration. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights into our past. Until next time, keep discovering the stories that define us. Peace and love.